All right. Hi, everybody. I'm Madison. I'm Shifu DeRu's office assistant in Atlanta. And I just wanted to give a few announcements of some events that we have coming up in the summer. So first thing I wanted to talk about is KSF, which is on June 11th. And registration is open for that. So if you know anybody or if you're interested in competing, register as early as you can so that we can match up different people, based on different categories. And I'm going to leave the link to that registration page in the chat. And then we have 3 different kinds of camps coming up in the summer. We've got our day camp, and we're looking for kids that are between the ages of 6 and 13 that are passionate about storytelling and martial arts. So we're going to do a little bit of both. And so, we're going to focus on the creativity and communication, and foreign language and culture. So I'll post a link to the summer camp registration. And you can always call the school if you have any questions, and I'll do my best to help. The first 10 students who register for the summer camp get $100 off. And those slots are filling up really fast. Then we also have 2 other kinds of camps, which is the residential camp and the intensive camp. The intensive camp is in July and the residential camp is in June. And those are more geared towards children and adults who are interested in gaining sashes and moving up in their martial arts journey. So it's going to be dedicated more towards martial arts instead of the creativity and communication. And then we also have our summer special, which is coming up. So if you know anybody who has maybe been thinking about trying out martial arts, if you have a friend or, and maybe they need a little bit of extra convincing. So now's a great time to try it this summer because we'll be doing a discounted rate of $100 per month for 3 months, and that's the summer special. And so let's see. So yeah, so if you have any questions,
Where are you doing?
Sorry?
Where are you doing it? In Atlanta?
Yes, in Atlanta. Yeah, so today we'll be talking about how we can cleanse our bodies and our minds from previous traumas and previous conditioning, so that we can let go of the past and move forward with the healing process. So I'm excited to get started with this discussion. Just like we've done in previous weeks, Shifu DeRu will speak and then we'll open things up for questions. So if everybody's ready, then we can get started.
Okay, are you ready? Let's do it. All right. This is she made an announcement. Basically, those are things that I do yearly round. Of course, for children, and we not just focus on creativity. We want to see if the child can leave that grooved education for a while, to be free. The free, totally free, a child of total freedom. That freedom comes with full responsibility. That's what it is. And that's what I want to see. And so each moment, we use meditation, we use Kung Fu, we use different things to wake up a child so that child can move forward instead of buried on the conditioned, the programmed, the old blueprints of the genetic. And then we reprogram the kid. That reprogram is not really what we want to do, rather what kid want to be splendid, to express oneself in a natural way. That's what I see. For the Kung Fu part and the residence camp, it's not really to learn sashes. Of course you have sashes, but rather is reprogram and the old mind, because a lot of things you do, you've got to repeat, you've got to, subconscious mind must be reprogrammed again, different state of the mind, so that you can leave old, that diseased state mind alone, that conditioned mind alone, to recondition, reprogram, to cleanse yourself from the past, to gain strength, to unveil the innate wisdom, the innate strength, the innate ability, the innate immune system, the innate intelligence that should be endowed to you before you were born. That is the cosmic intelligence, what I talk. So today actually is really directly towards that. Of course, we have we're going to have like a chi retreat. It's going to be in Connecticut, and at an old, I think an old mansion. I think it's one of the what is the guy's name? Like one of the you know, you have financial institute. One of the guys, giants, financial institutes, families mentioned. They sold it to a Chinese lady. The Chinese lady is especially interested in mind health, in body health, in cleansing the mind, cleansing the body, to reprogram the diseased mind, diseased body into a healthy body and a healthy mind. That's what it is. So she wanted me to use her mansion to do this chi retreat. So that's going to be in the fall. So we a lot of things we are putting over there, and to see if anybody can join us. Because during the summer, why we do this summer, especially this summer, we want to do nationwide because China is closed. A lot of people want to go to Shaolin Temple and to train, you know, to really train martial arts, to really condition themselves, to really get that self-discipline, self-learning. I cannot go. The best place is here, you know. Not because I'm a monk, which am I not, but I am the old abbot's closest disciple, and that's the truth. And I, you know, trained since I was a child, and that's the fact. So because of the Zen training, because of the martial arts training, because of the health training, because Chinese medical training, because of the various health therapy training. So kind of give me a little bit of background to hide myself, also to assist others. Okay, so much for that advertisement. Let's go on, move on. Okay, now, so Jim is here, and Mona is here, and Dorothy is here, and everybody else is here. Tom is here. Let's move to the main topic. My dear friend Jennifer is here, and Jennifer actually she's working with me, and she's actually helped me with my book Imagine and Beyond, and she's going to do a lot of work with me, and you know, I have a book, and try to get that straightened up, and she also helped me to edit it, and she's a beautiful editor. Is that right, Jennifer?
You're too kind, Shifu.
It's true. It's true. And okay, now cleansing. It's a very important topic because I have to do this cleansing all my life. Why? As a lot of people know, I was born with a disease. The disease is from various points of the disease. From political disease, I was born with a crime I never committed. You know, in a new country of communist system, and born with a family who were graduated from old Beijing University. You know, they used to call Yanjing Daxue. It's sort of like an old Harvard and of China. And my father was graduate from that. And his mind is full of capitalism, full of nationalism, full of you know, freedom, full of democracy. And then you have a new democracy, which is communist democracy, you know. And then they don't like that. And they want everybody to believe that it's new democracy. So you have the old one, you automatically become an enemy. So I was born as an enemy. So I have to learn how to adapt. And then later on, came to the United States, I have to learn another way to back and forth. So you have to really, really cleanse the old way and to go new way. That's one facet. The second facet, I was born with a disease, which is a physical disease, autoimmune disease. And normally anything happen, anything instigate me, my body will be full of rashes. But all the time, it was just totally unbearable because of the bumps everywhere, the whole body, If I touch any alcohol, my whole body will be totally bombarded. Everything is closed, you understand? So it's very tough. And then of course I got many of you guys probably heard of, I got a meningitis. It's infectious meningitis. A lot of people died. And most people get if they don't die, they get this kind of afterwards and leftover and residuals, what I call it, and the trauma, and from that disease and because of that attack. So then I was always depressed when I was a kid. The depressed because I was born, always question myself why I was born into this family, And that also gave me a lot of depression since I was a child. And because I thought, it was wrong destiny for me by genetics, by all means, born in the wrong country, wrong time, wrong family. So all that gave me a lot of burden. If I stay on that, I will be depressed all my life. But fortunately, I learned how to do Kung Fu. I learned how to do meditation. I learned how to calm my mind, calm my body. I learned how to breathe. I learned how to get into the nature, get out of the human crowds, get out of this complicated entropy, that are chaos, that kind of signals that I do not need, getting me more confused. So it was very fortunate. And for a lot of things I encountered, give me all these trials, tribulations, give me all these vicissitudes, and then give me more strength to be able to constantly cleanse, constantly reprogram, constantly to transform, constantly to transcend beyond old shell, like a butterfly, And why not, if I stay in that warm and always stay there, and I go to get out of it, once, twice, many times. Why I say that? Because as we know, our body is a simple body full of 50 trillion cells. Yes, it's a complex organization. Just like my body, for example, you strip my clothes, you can see skins. You strip the skins, you can see muscles. You can see smooth muscles, skeletal muscles. You can see fat. You can see all kinds of things. And then you go down and you see all kinds of organs. And you go down, you see, okay, it's cells. And you go another level, you can see it's just complex cells. What are the complex cells? Make out of a lot of simple cells that combine together. It's a community of cells. Then they become the complex cells. That's what we call amoeba. Some people call it a small universe, a microcosmic universe in that little tiny microscopic world. Because a giant, according to the micro world, but for macro world, it's a small amoeba. But that amoeba has all kinds of things. It's full of entities that can really help you to do everything you need, transform information, feed energy, and make your life alive, give you vitality. And then you have 50 trillions that amoeba die each minute. Then you have another millions of cells to give birth each minute. So you have billions of cells die every day. And you have billions of cells, hundreds of billions of cells die. And each few days, your body is going to change because you have thousands, billions of cells die. But you have your stem cells begin to produce. However, most of us produce the new cells according to the old paradigm, according to the old blueprints, called old DNA, called old, according to old, programmed subconscious mind, old DNA blueprints. But we do not know that. Most people still do not know. Even today's most doctors still ask you about your ancestors, about your aunts, about your mothers, about your grandmothers and your father's DNA, because they had no idea. All that has nothing to do with your health, your psychological health, your physical health. It is the play of that DNA. It is the performance of that DNA, how you manifest that DNA. All that depends on what? On environment. Yes, it's true. When I was young, I was in a very diseased environment because I would believe the disease. I believe I was the littlest, the lowest of the lowest of the lowest of the lowest. Insects, you know, the insects has some freedom. They have freedom. Insects have freedom, but I don't. Because I was a friend. Because I was born, that was my destiny. When I begin to meditate, when I transform, when I see beyond that destiny, everything changed. Everything changed. That diseased mind, the diseased body changed. So my father died when he was 50s. He has multiple kinds of diseases, lung diseases, heart diseases, immune diseases, and he was refused to be treated because he didn't have a right to be treated under that kind of circumstances, under that kind of government in those days. I'm not going to blame any government. I'm not blame any institutions, but I see they actually transformed me. They give me the opportunity to become stronger. They give me opportunity to transform. They give me opportunity to become what I am today. I'm very, very thankful to everybody, including all the parties, all the people who give me troubles, who even give me a cut, when my brain comes out. Why? Because without these opportunities, without the gunshots, I will know the world is in such an entropy. But you still can get out of that entropy. I will know the world is such a place that is full of suffering. But you can get out of suffering in the meantime. So, yes, one of the IT person and asked me, you are in a high place. We are just IT people. We are in the lower state of the population. And you can say whatever you want to say. You know, of course, you are in such a high status. Then when I gave her story of myself, she cried, she could not help. She fainted, cried into fainting. The whole 500 people all cried. It's not I want to give that sad news or suffering I had, but I want to let people know. Even in my state of the mind, in my state of the body, you call whatever you call abuse, I probably was most abused person on the planet. I was shot. I was in disease. I was beaten so many times by my own families call me a counter-revolution. My own maternal grandfather beat me up, call me the counter-revolutionary. You know, this is my own maternal grandfather, and I thought he was a good Christian. He was, you know, good. Very devoted Christian. But sometimes when you are in that situation, you go with that mind because it is that political situation. You believe that political situation was true, even though it's just a fallacy, but you believe it was true. And then you begin to turn everything else, shut everything else down, and you stimulate by that kind of mind. That's why I said the environmental situation is important. If you stay in that kind of environment, if you stay in that kind of entropy, if you stay in that kind of level of mind, over that situation, over that environment, and you become that way. Why? Because you are in that energy frequency. So if you stay with all the robbers, and you become one of the robbers. If you want to stay in that a group of beggars, and you become a beggars. You stay in the group of scientists, you become a group of that scientists. Why? Let me give you the story. When I was young, everybody knew that. And then I was on the street because, you know, my father sent to the countryside to do manual labor. And my mother went to a factory to do manual labor. And then I was sent to my grandmother's house, and then I was given to my uncle, father, relative, stayed. And then I was on the street later on. He passed away, and I was on the street. And then I stayed with a lot of people who are like me, beggars on the street. What do? We pick up trash, we pick up glasses, we pick up cigarette butts, we steal chickens. That's reality. You know, I'm not going to, even though I was a kid, I was on a mountain and tried to put the goats into the mountain. And then I saw this party leader eat this brand new, to me, it's brand new bread, you know, steamed bread. Wow, those are luxury. Brand new steamed bread is luxury because I never eaten those, because I didn't have luxury to have eaten those. I stole 2 of them. I still remember this. Why? Because I was guilty all my life, because I stole something from the local country leadership, you know, restaurant. It's the sort of like a cafeteria for the communist leaders. And you were caught, you couldn't be shot. That's always in my mind. So I was a thief, and on the street, oh yeah, I did all kinds of things. I live on the street, I live in a ditch, and you do ditchy thing, exactly. You pick up beetles, you eat them. You pick up roaches, you eat them. You pick up Snail, you eat them when you do not have anything to eat. Because those days are very, very poor. Even though people, you on the street, people don't have anything much to eat either. So you become one of these people. That's the environment. That's really environment make who you are. That's what I'm talking about over here is the environment make who you are. I was among a group of thieves when I was traveling from Mobile, Alabama to UC Berkeley on a bus and back and forth because I had an interview in Mobile, Alabama from Berkeley. And I want to get a scholarship. Eventually they gave me a scholarship. On the bus, I went back to UC Berkeley and I met a few thieves. I can totally see I can become one of the robbers. Why? Because they became my friends. They want to rob me because I had a beautiful suitcase. And one of the robbers was really big, it's 6 feet, I was 6 foot long, and I was very short, very small. And I knew he wanted to rob me because they have a few people together. And he was moving forward because I want to have one briefcase. That's the only new briefcase my friend from UC Berkeley gave me. One of the professors, Dr. Shastri from UC Berkeley, gave me. I cannot lose that briefcase. And I told him, so what's up? You want to do something? Let's do it. I said, I'm ready. Let's go. And he was scared. Eventually he came to me and behind he said, hey, are you the master? Are you Bruce Lee? I said, better. And of course I just spoke out of nowhere. And then he wanted to study with me. And of course I didn't want to teach anybody, especially for that thief. But eventually when we talked together, he's just an ordinary person. He wanted to feed his mother. He had a group of 16 people. They're all robbers. They rob people. That's what they do. They're just human beings like me. There was no difference between them and me. Both of them sit like a child. Like two children sitting on the side of me and begging me to forgive them. They did intentionally to rob me. But they didn't know who I was. But I didn't know. When I was in Houston, the bus stopped. I got off the bus. They got off the bus. And then I went to outside of the bus station. When I came back, and the bus was gone because they told us for 2 hours, and in half an hour they were gone. I came like 1 hour later. And then said, well, here goes my briefcase. And then the police came. He said, are you the Oriental guy? I said, what do you mean? He said, we have 2 black gentlemen and give me a case. Say, ask me to secure the case no matter what. This guy is a very important guy. So you can see they became my friends. When I was in Los Angeles, Hollywood, they were waiting over there, make sure I got my briefcase. The police guy did not get my briefcase. They even wanted me to do dinner or something. Of course I didn't go because I had to go on. So you can see I can be one of the thieves. It's the environment you're in. They totally, really respect me in many, many ways. Of course, because of martial arts. So I encounter all kinds of environment. When I see people sick, I can be hurting. I can feel the empathy. I'm hurting. They feel their spinal cord hurt. I can feel the hurting myself. We are all interconnected with each other. That's what I'm talking about over here. I was in hospital for 2 years as a physician. I was a therapist, basically. I do acupuncture and manipulation, basically. Acupressure and manipulation, try to set the bones right, get a spinal cord and cervical cord in position. I manipulate the frozen shoulder and do some acupuncture on knees and get some herniated disc, some sciatic pain. I treat a lot of people. I can be in that situation, everyone, every situation in that situation, because I got hurt when I was a gymnast, when I was a martial artist. I'm still a martial artist. I'm still doing all these things, not as much as those days. I broke both my arms. I broke my back. I broke my knees. But I do not have to stay in that situation. Then from all that experience, I say, the best cleansing is what? Is cleanse your own mind, cleanse your own body. Is reprogram your old conditioned mind, your old conditioned body, your trauma, your beliefs, your dogma, your thoughts, your emotions, your diseased information. As we know from biology, we just talked about, amoeba, you break down amoeba, you have a simple cell. From a simple cell, you have what? You have atoms, molecules. From that, you can go to quarks. You can say, okay, you can change neutrinos, you have protons, electrons, you have neutrons, and then you have nuclei, and you can get deeper down. Ultimately, you have waves, right? Most people would say the world is made of what? According to quantum physics, according to relativity, we see the universe is made of matter, right? Energy. But sometimes we forgot. One of the most important components is what? Information. It all depends what kind of information you have. That is associated with the perception, associated with the conditioning, associated with the programming, associated with the DNA, associated with all the blueprints you carried, and then the blueprints you performed. What kind of environment can be stimulated? What kind of information comes out to manifest that so-called manifested reality? Not only what I saw, I see every one of you guys. I've met people from all over the world. I treated people probably from America, Israel, Africa, Armenia, Russia, Japan, you name it. I had students probably more than 160, 170 countries. But I see we are all the same. If one person can change, everybody can change because we are all interconnected. If we all see the society, see the human being, see ourselves as a diseased person, as a traumatized person, as a victimized person, we always see that way. We always met, in the past, we always met these victimized situations, diseased situations, diseased environment because our vibration is coherent with that kind of frequency. However, when we transcend to another facet of the energy wave, we have become coherent with another realm of energy frequency that can be very healthy. So I begin to associate with martial artists, with a healthy therapist, with a gymnast, with a lot of people really, really into not only depart themselves from disease, but build up the health. And then I see another level, and I see totally different world. When I was on the street, I thought I would never be educated, or never be able to speak any language, not to mention English or French or German, Deutsch, you know, or any other languages. Not possible, because I could not even speak Chinese clearly. But the situation changed when I met professors from Harvard, professor from St. John, professors from Beijing University, professor from a lot of places, from France. And then all things changed. I went to college. I got my degrees in foreign languages, studied 2 languages, French and Japanese. And then I come to America. I studied, of course, English language. It's in English literature, and also Deutsch, German. Even though I'm not that good at those things, but at least I touched them for 2 years here, there. And I begin to understand. We're all human beings. We have a lot of connections within ourselves, within each other. So if one person moves, that means when we fight pharmaceutical company. The pharmaceutical company begin to try to make money, naturally. But they forgot they make money. Sometimes they're making the money, that money is really not only destroy the patients, but destroy themselves. When you destroy others just for the profit alone, without disregard their conditions, disregard their health, disregard their life, and only for your own profit, actually, that is not yourself. Because when you destroy them, you destroy yourself, because you are interconnected. Just like your liver try to make money and to destroy your heart, they're interconnected. You destroy everything in the body, in the organism, the humanity. And one country fight another country, they think, I want to be strong. I want to, you want to bully me. I want to bully you. And then we have this friction. We fight each other for my own safety. No, you're not. Because you destroy that person, you act at the same time, you're destroying yourself. That's reality. People don't see that. People only see the differentiation. People see the fragmentation. People see the conflicts instead of see we are all together as one. With that in mind, if we do this, change each oneself, we give ourselves a little bit more energy, we give ourselves a little bit space, we give ourselves a little bit of silence, we give ourselves a little bit of harmony, we give ourselves a little bit of peace, we give ourselves a little bit of space. Literally space. And we see totally different self, and we see totally different world. Because each one of us is changing, the world is changing. Each one of us is healthier, the world is healthier. Each one of us is more harmonious, the world is more harmonious. That's why cleansing is very important, because you want to move forward, to transform. If you want to move forward to be healthy, if you want to move forward to be more harmonious, if you want to move forward to be more coherent, if you want to move forward to transcend, transform into a totally different state of the mind, state of the body, you got to cleanse yourself. Let the old mind go. Let the old blueprint go. Rewrite the disc. Perception. Last time I talked about this dog, pee on people. One of my friends, she thanked the person who had the dog, you know. But I did see people, you know, they didn't even pee on people's pants. The people on people's yard, they get upset. They scream, they fight people. See, one is conflict, one is thankful, it's grateful. Because, you know, the dog didn't pee on anybody, but it's pee on me. I'm so lucky. And that's beautiful. So the perception makes difference. And everything she does, she feels was a fortune. That fortune comes continuously to build. The luckiness continuously build is because of the perception of the mind and the body transform. That's reality, because you build your own reality. A lot of people, you know, they have some trauma 20 years ago, 30 years ago, they still remember today. Not only just me, weeks, months ago, they remember. Even 30 years ago, they still remember. They grudge on it. They dwell on it. They fuss on it. Why? They still live in 20 years ago. They still live 30 years ago. They still live in a bad situation. It's already gone. Their thoughts, they make up all kinds of things from the past, the memories, and then they begin to make up more and more, and they accumulate more. What happened? More disease the state of the mind produced, more disease the state of the body produced. More entropy in the body become. Not only entropy of the mind, but also the body. You see, I have probably worked with a lot of cancer patients. Each cancer patient has a story to tell. You know, I remember one of my patients from Mobile, Alabama, Deepak Chopra from California, introduced her to me. That was in 2000. She had a brain tumor. She had a bone cancer, transformed all over the place in her body, mutated. She said, I want to live. They say, you are the master, you can help me. I said, I'm not the master. I know we can work together. So I did a lot of Qigong therapy. We did a lot of things. Her body just totally chaos. And then I asked her, you must have a story. You've got to tell me the story, what happened, let's work together. Precisely. She told me the story. Her abuse by her lawyer, because she worked in this law office, her abuse by her parents, you know, her abuse by all kinds of people. And then she took in. And that's how cancer came from. You know, a lot of people know my friend who has been with me for 30 years, who still volunteer for me in Mobile, Alabama. Her mother, you know, everybody knows her mother is 100 years old now. She was abused by her own family, her own relative. You know, when she came to me, and all these people abused the people. You know, 6 of them abused the people. They all have disease, similar disease, immune disease, psychological disease, mental disease, so to speak, you know, and then they have so many other health problems, cancer. And none of them, you know, because they're devoted Catholic. You know, I very respect Catholic because we have a lot of Catholic from my New Orleans campus. But they all believe, you know, the church can help them. You know, there's no problem. I believe that too. And then Susan basically worked with me for the last 30 years. 5 people died. The last person died 15 years ago. She was the only one survived. Not because of me, but because of herself. Each person has that mental capacity, has that endowed, self-natured intelligence, wisdom. all she did was cleanse every single day, reprogram herself, meditate every day. You know, she's moving towards 80, but she's much healthier than she was 30 years ago. She was dying those days. You can see human beings can transform. You know, last time I told you guys my other friend, or maybe in Chinese, and she came from China. She lived in New York. She was one of the top families in China, and she had a lot of power, but she had a lot of family issues, family quarrels, family internal quarrels, internal problems, power, political power, all kinds of power. She eventually moved to New York. She had when she was 80s, she had a disease, cancer. You know, she lived another more than 30 years. She passed, I think it's 109 or 110, 110 or 109, passed away. I didn't see her, but I only met her once or twice. And she had so many health problems when she was 80s. But she was 90s, much healthier than when she was 80s. Of course, when she was 105, she became, a little bit weaker because other issues she got involved. And she lived to 109, without too much trouble. What I see, human beings can not live longer, has nothing to do with it. It is you can calm your mind, you can silence your mind, you can cleanse the past, reconditioning yourself, reprogram yourself to transform that body, transform that mind. By what? Simply, just a simple breathe, simple silence, simple meditation, simple nature. Something is not that complex. It's very simple. But people sometimes they don't do it. So we do it, it takes time. No, it's not takes time. It's do you do now, here now, and you will see the results. Each here now, each moment of now, you can change your life forever. Of course, it takes Kung Fu. That's what I do. It's called Kung Fu. What is Kung Fu? Kung Fu is a passion with perseverance. You have the passion with your health. You have the passion with your mind. You have the passion with yourself. You have the passion with your energy. You have passion with your consciousness. You have passion with your heart, your mind. And then you will dive in 100% attention. That 100% attention is meditation. That 100% attention is the mind, body, and the soul. You do one day, you do 1 minute, so you're going to engage with other things. What's the point? You're going to return to your older self. You think about it. You have written that not yourself. You have been here for millions of years to transform to today. That blueprints in yourself, your mother, your grandmother, your grandparents, the humanity, all that carry with you. What kind of environment you have, what kind of stimulation you're going to have. Your father does something, you do something. Your surroundings do something, you do something. That's how your performance becomes, because your environment begin to influence you. Your perception begin to influence you. What do you perceive? You become. What do you conceive? What do you become? What your action? What do you become? So if that is the case, if your perception is changed, your conception is changed, your action is changed, you reprogram yourself, everything is changing. I'm healthier than anybody I can see on this planet today. I'm 30 years old, and I was born in 1950s. See, how did that happen? How did that happen? But it is happening Because my mind, my body, my creativity, my study, my self-health, my devotion, everything is there. You know, I told everybody I did something with Ito. Ito is a good friend of mine. He's also my student. And he's he's with the army of the Israel army. And he did all kinds of martial arts and the special, martial arts he did. He wanted to do something with me the other day. He cannot even touch me. He's 22 years old. He trained all kinds of things. He cannot touch me at all. I'm much faster than him. Why? Why? Because I constantly to learn. My mind always transforms. I use new information to let old information go. I'm reprogramming myself. Myself at all times. In my sleep, I reprogram myself. In my daytime, I reprogram myself. When I get up and when I'm in a half dream, half state, I begin to breathe. I begin to reprogram myself. I do that every single day, at least 3 to 5 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's what I do. That's why I am what I am, I take a cold shower, I feel happy. I get up from my ice, and during the winter time, I'm happy. I did some, and I get Jennifer to do some editing on my. I did a little bit short, sort of like a lyric, like it's a talk, I self-talk. How did I, imagine myself training in the snow with my bare feet, with my bare hair. I don't have my hair. And anyway, and then I feel happy. And I feel that snow, feel that cold. And for the 2 hours, that was the happiest 2 hours in the snow with the bare feet. Standing in the snow with the bare feet is beautiful. To a lot of people, they're scared. Say, how could you do that? You get sick. So you see, one perception is to get sick, and the other perception is to get a wake up. It's beautiful. You see differently. Your perception is different. And then after that 2 hours of snow training with my bare feet, my bare hair, with a thin skin, shirt, and I always feel great. Why? Because I feel the nature. I feel myself, I'm alive. Within the 2 hours, the best 2 hours for that whole snow time in Atlanta, because we seldom get a snow in Atlanta. I went to Chicago. Wow, Chicago is cooler. I was so happy for that 2 days I stayed in Chicago. I said, the water is cooler. I took 3 days, took a shower, took a bath. Every few hours, I take another ice shower because it's cooler. Much cooler than Atlanta. I was so happy. See, you see the perception is different. A lot of people in one of my friends at least told me, I cannot stand Chicago anymore. But I love Chicago. Why? It was so cold. I feel so good. You see, it's a perception. I feel alive. I took 3 cold showers a day. And because a lot of places you go, you want to get a shower, you don't get a cold, then you open it and then you feel that kind of lukewarm feel. And then over there, it's a pure cold. Your body become numb. And it's beautiful. After numbness, it's all warmth. It's beautiful. Oh, it's a wonderful day. Open your mind, open your heart, open your nose, open everything. See? It's a perception. It's a perception. So you change your perception, you change everything. Perceive, conceive, take action. Over here, we talk about is take a breath, and I always say, let's breathe and do it. I can talk for all day and all night. But it's, you probably tired might be talk, but it's true. And you got to be doing it. Dive in. I want to do something with you guys right now, if you don't mind. And put your hands at your abdomen. Just take a deep breath. We're going to do some shallow breath first. We're going to do maybe dive down to the next one. Okay, let's just do the first one. And then I want to hear, what do you see? What I want to do is that we breathe in 3 times, we breathe out 6 times. We take a pause. That means you don't breathe in or you don't breathe out, neither. Okay, you just hold your breath. But it's not that you don't breathe. You breathe with your abdomen if you can. At the beginning, you don't know how to breathe with your abdomen, but eventually you learn. So one of my students told me, at first she cannot even do 1 minute. She cannot even do half a minute. Today, Lisa told me, you know, she has been with me 5 years. She flew to Atlanta to do private lessons with me over here for 3 days. She was here. She tried to show me she can hold her breath for 15 minutes. For half a minute to 15 minutes, that's a big change. She said, I run the highest mountains. I can dash. I can, you know, and ski. I can do all kinds of things. Remember, a few years ago, you know, she was in the most fatal situation she never imagined in her life. But today, you know, doctor told her, you got to get chemotherapy, you got to get radiation, you got to do this, you got to do this. They say, if you go with the doctor, you go ahead. Otherwise, we do it together. Forget about them. That's 2 years ago. Forget about them. I decided to go with you. I said, okay, let's do it together. See, she's healthy. I don't care. She probably has cancer. I have cancer. I have plenty of cancer in my body, but I'm healthy. Why? Because I have a beautiful immune system. Take care of everything. So let's start from the simple breath. Thumb together, put it into your lap, below your navel. Okay, you breathe in, 3 count. I just follow me, okay? You don't have to count right now. Even in the future, you can count. And I do normally longer than 3 seconds. Okay, do longer for breathe out than 6 seconds, slightly longer. Okay, and then I hold for 9 seconds, slightly longer. Okay, now we do 2 more breaths and then start it again. Okay, let's just do that. Can we do that? Do you mind? Mona, do you mind? Jennifer, Barbara, anybody else? You want to do it? Or you
Yes.
rejected my
Yes.
you reject it. You don't want to do it. Tell me. You want to do it? Let's do it.
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, let's go. Put your hands at the abdomen. Take a deep breath. Breathe in. Out. In. Exhale. In. Out. In. Out. In. Out. In. Out. in, out. In, out. In, out. Hold it. In, out. In, out. Okay, let's open your eyes. Now, I want to see any questions. And I want to do another time. Before we do another time, I want to open up and I want to see what do you see and what is your question and what is your concern, what you want to talk about. Okay, let's open up. You can raise your hands and Madison, would you monitor that?
Sure.
Okay, let's see who want to raise your hands and you can talk and then and we can open up the microphone and let you talk. Okay, and you can open one by one. Okay. Any questions? You're already perfect? You're already pretty good?
It looks like Catherine might have a question.
Okay, Catherine.
Hi, Shifu. Thank you. So when I'm breathing and counting, it's a sense of maybe that I'm not in my body. Is it to be mindful of counting the breath or just go with what's there? You know, I don't know if it's helpful to have the mind drift or just go blank.
At the beginning, I would say, let's start counting first. Just when you do counting has a sort of energy, it's a number energy. That kind of energy give you really tune in, okay, without flying all over the place. People's drifting all over the place, just tune in. Tune in is the number one right now, okay? And later on, we can do a lot of, we can talk about a lot of other options, a lot of other possibilities. But the beginning, I would say, let's just breathe, listen to your breath, let your breath go all the way from your nose to your chest, to your lungs, to expand the lungs all the way to your lower abdomen, below your diaphragm. Just push in. And of course, later on, we normally do deeper, much deeper. Right now we have 3-6, then we have 4-8, then we have 6-12, then we have 9-18, and then we have scanning, and we have bone marrow cleansing, we have empowering, and then we have cosmic, and then we have and infusing. We have a lot of modules, and then different modules have different effect, and then you have the natural state of the modules. There are different modules, but right now this is very beginning module. I want to see probably just listen and to your breath and count your breath at the beginning. Thank you. I saw another hand. Madison, did you see another hand?
I I had my hand raised.
Okay, good.
It's Morna. Yeah. Hi.
Right.
I have two questions. You could just take
Yes.
one, whichever one you want.
No problem.
One is, do you have any advice, specific advice for us Westerners who get stuck in your head? Even though, like me, I've been meditating for years, but I still have a tendency to get stuck in my thoughts and all the, traumas of the past. And then my other question is, do you have any recommendations for getting toxins from past experiences out of your body?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. This is what I say absolutely is from my point of view, from what I saw, what I observed in myself, in many, many patients, many, many students I have observed. That's from that point. But this is not absolutely fit your situation, but I can tell you as a human being, as a mana being, as a DeRu being, as a being, you and me, we are connected. Because we took a picture together, we entangled together, right? So, and then I can see you and me. I see me and you. And I see that similar things. We all human beings. It doesn't matter you're Chinese, you're Westerns, has nothing to do with it. Because of course, as Westerners, you have so many, thoughts. Your thoughts shape things. You immediately shape things. You have this square mind, use so much thoughts. And, so many thoughts, all kinds of thoughts, millions and millions of thoughts come in. Yeah, the Eastern people do the same thing. However, can we get rid of it? It is all up to you. Number one, how to get out of that? I don't know. For me, what I do, if I were you, in Mana's body, I'm not in Mana's body, but I am Mana. I am a human being. That's how I always call myself. I am the cosmos. I am the humanity. If I am the humanity, so Mana is the humanity, and we are the same. So this is what I say. I would do is, I do meditation. I start with the counting numbers. I started counting my breath. Sometimes I lost my mind. I draw back, recount my numbers, recount my breath, and I can recount my numbers, and I get in. I constantly be patient with myself. I remember when I was a kid, I was asked to meditate, and I was just meditate. My brain's all over the place, thousands of miles everywhere. I was a kid, but I never shut myself down. One day, when I lost all my hair, a lot of people probably heard of I lost my hair. I went crazy because you're a teenager, you lost your hair. Because not you cut your hair, all the all the little thing, you don't grow anything anymore. You understand? You get scared. You thought it was like some sort of disease. Those days, we didn't have hospitals because of the Cultural Revolution, no hospitals. The Chairman Mao got rid of all the people who have any education, any medical, anything. They just everybody sent to the countryside. And for me, I was a poor guy. There's no way I can get any access to any, medical facilities. I was just went crazy. And then one person told me, why don't you do Tai Chi? Why don't you do meditation? Why don't you do this? I said, I did this all my life. No, I didn't. So I thought I did, just like you said. A lot of people say, I ask a lot of people, say, oh yeah, I always do my meditation. I said, well, really? Okay, so when you never get into it, you have to be 100% into it. Nothing out. If you drift around, you're not into it because you're drifting. So how to get out of it? There are so many methods over there. What I see, some people are really good with just do some movements, just kind of feel the movements, and then get energy. They begin to transform. They begin to follow the energy. They begin to mingle together with that energy, with that emotion. That's one way they do it. Another person just sit there and meditate and count the numbers. Another person just sit there and listen to the breath, and they begin to get the breath transform and begin to permeate into the cells and deeper into each consciousness of that cells, and deeper into the subconsciousness of that programming. And then they dive deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. So everybody's different. However, everybody has some similarities. So whatever fit you the best, it will. If you really, really decide to do, you do that every day. Like me, I got up early in the morning, nothing to do. Nothing stopped me. 7 days a week, Sundays, sometimes I do a little bit longer. I probably start 4:30 to 9 o'clock. That's how long I did. Can you commit that? That's okay. Do I drift? Probably occasionally, but most time I begin to get into it. When I get into the stream of the consciousness, of the deep consciousness, I don't get anywhere. I don't care your fire is burning. Has nothing to do with me. I do my meditation. One time I told you guys before, some of you guys heard me, when I was at Mobile College, and I did meditation, because Mobile College is a Baptist college. And this security guy, he said, "What's wrong with you, Shang?" And he went back. 1 hour later, and he said, "What's wrong with you?" He tried to hit me. I didn't answer him, and he got scared. He called the ambulance. He called the fireman. They all came here, carried me over there, get into these stretches. They thought something wrong with me. And then when when they get on the road, I said, "What's wrong? What are you guys doing over here?" And then I wake myself up. I'm already on the way to hospital. And then they say, "You are in coma." I said, "I'm not in coma. I was in meditation. What are you talking about?" So when you are in that state, you 100%, you don't get into all these things. I don't care what they say. Was I aware? Yes, I was aware. I just don't want to get out. I was not into that realm. I was in another realm. That's all it is. When you really, really get into it, pay 100% attention into that energy, into the consciousness, dive into a deep state of innermost consciousness, and then you will see a totally different world, total dimension. You can call 0 dimension, you can call upper dimension, whatever you name it, you can label on it. What kind of language, what kind of vocabulary you want to use it, I don't care. But it's a different realm of life, absolutely. And when you get out, the world is so beautiful. You have so much clarity. You don't have to get in all this chaos. It was so stupid. All these fights, all these things just so dumb. Get out. When you get out, they're good or bad. It has nothing to do with it. Just see a bunch of people. That's all. That's all you see. There's no madness with them because they just ignore it. That's all it is about. In Chinese, we call Wu Ming. There's no clarity because they're fuzzy. They're confused. They themselves are confused. The whole world is confused together. That's all. Entropy. Thank you. Another. What is the second question?
Oh, I'll let somebody else go. Thank you for that answer, though. That was good. Thank you.
Anybody?
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
On when you're meditating and linking it back today with your podcast, with your video today, you had mentioned, obviously that you could manifest your destiny, and you basically want to focus on the better aspects of life versus the evil of life, do you go ahead and use part of your meditation each day instead of counting and trying to calm the mind to go ahead and focus on what you're grateful for, what you're wanting to go ahead and manifest in the future, as in on trying to expand your reality, expand your mind, going the places that you want to go, becoming the person you want to go? Or do you just simply use the meditation to calm your mind and use
So-
other aspects to go ahead and focus on those other things to focus on those other aspects?
Yeah, I totally understand what you're talking about, from the evil, good, bad, there's no good, there's no bad. There's no bad, there's no good. There's no beauty, there's no ugliness. There's no up, there's no down. There's no inside, there's no outside. It's because everything's relative. This is not about, Einstein, explained clearly. When you threw a rock from the train is running, and it's relative to the person standing there. It's different. When the train is fast running and you're running and through the rock at the same time, and it's that person is running also at the same time, it's different. Same thing as we said over here. So if you see that evil or bad, who's saying that? The evil person said the good people are evil people. So you're going to have conflicts. So over here, let that evil go. What I see is free yourself from the evil, good or bad. Free yourself from all that conception, from all that deception, from all that dogma, from all that thoughts, from all that conformity, from all that three-dimensional darkness or labels, whatever you can, you what kind of vocabulary you want to use it. I don't care, but let's transcend beyond that three-dimensional good or bad, evil or something, and transcend from that. Free yourself. Freedom is important. When you free yourself, and then you're no longer in that dark hole, good, bad, and I get a space, you get another space, and you quarrel, I quarrel, you scream me, I scream at you. Get out of that. Above. Transcend yourself above that realm, the 3D-dimensional world realm. And you see totally different. Everything's a freedom. But you understand that, but you don't have to get involved. That's why I say you do breathing. From the breathing, you leave the past alone. You leave the attachment alone. You detach yourself and you free yourself from that emotions, from the past, from the memories, from that so-called devoted. I devote this so many years, and then you did this to me, and then I came work for you, and you did this to me, and you abused me. Free yourself from that. So when you are in that moment of meditation, in that moment of breathing, in that moment of silence, in that moment of energy transformation, you are recharging yourself. You are not in that entropy. Rather, you begin to reorganize, begin to recharge yourself. Whenever I get on meditation, I have tremendous energy. Why? Because I stop dissipating that all kinds of crazy things dissipate energy. I don't get into the realm anymore. I get into another realm. Another realm is freedom. No thoughts, no bad, good, no judgments, no that quarrels, no good or bad, because no dogmas, no religion, no politics, no races, nothing, just a being, not just a human being, but a being. I can be a tiger, I can be a snake, I can be anything. I can be a dragon, I can be an ant. I talked to an ant before. A group of ants, I told a lot of people knew that I talked to a group of ants. The ants, the millions of ants at my air conditioner, my old air conditioner, I told you guys. I just talked to them for less than an hour. I meditated with them. Next day, they clean everything. That millions of ants, they clean everything even. They didn't leave even one spot of that dirt in that air conditioning. You know, Susan from Mobile, you know, you came from Mobile, you went to ask Susan. Susan just totally fascinated with that. So how could you do that? And then the air conditioning guy didn't believe me. He said, you must clean this thing. I never touched it. I just talked to them. So when you are stop thinking, when you are stopping judging, when you're stopping all that, transcend to another division, and you begin to coherent with this end, you have to leave every human judgment behind. And then they understand. You transform energy, and then they totally understand. So that's what I see.
So basically, you don't focus on anything, because when you focus, you're staying in the past, and you're just experience the meditation.
Good or bad, there's
right
no
then
such
and
thing. You have to create, at the moment, you create a new thing. Everything's brand new. No past, period. At the moment, you create everything new. No memories, no emotions, no thoughts, no any feelings, no sensories beyond that. Then you can create something new. Otherwise, you still stay in the past. You can see, oh, I used to see the sun so beautiful. Why the sun is not beautiful anymore? Well, the sun never beautiful that way, because that moment is gone forever. But you are chasing it. It's not there anymore. Because the universe is expanding, you are still staying in the past. What's wrong with you? But the most of us still stick with that. That's the problem. Cleanse it, let it go. Let it go. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mona, is that all right? Mona, you have another question. What is the other question? I thought I answered, touched both of it a little bit.
Oh, I was asking about how you clear toxins out of your body. But
Yeah,
I think you're answering it.
Yes, that's what I said. That's precisely what I said. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you, any moment, you've got to empty everything. You know, of course, this is old Buddhist, idea. And the Japanese use Japanese professor, Chinese use Chinese PhD, or they're they think that they're really knowledgeable people. They come to see a Zen master, and then the Zen master was courtesy to push to put a tea, and then the professor just talk. How can I empty my mind? How can I empty my cup? How can I get my toxins out? How can I get pleasure? How can I get healthy? How can I free myself? Talk. And then the master just put the tea all over the place. Well, stop! What are you doing? And he talk again, and the master put in tea again, because he's full of it. Empty first. Thank you. Yeah. So basically, what I do is breathing. Why I get this 9-9 med breath? Because it's one of the easiest way people can start with the breathing, and that breathing can get into a little bit deeper and deeper, because I have different modules, and get deeper the breathing, get energy recharged, and then you see differently of your own mind, your own energy, and you can do easier. But one of the most important things is that you've got to let all the past go. You must have the determination. That determination means nothing if you do not dive in 100% into the moment. Whatever happens. Yeah. If you stick to the past, and how to do this, we're in trouble. Because how is based on the past. How is based on the thoughts. How is based on emotions. How is based on the memory. Because how is the past method. So it's the easiest way, because everybody breathe. So that's why I devised this breathe. This thing is not it's not so well. I devised the best in the world, and I didn't say that. I said, well, to me, it's the easiest way because I breathe. Everybody need to breathe anyway. So I give myself energy, and then I blank myself from all these thoughts, from all these chaos, from all these transmissions, all these signals, and then I see my breath, and I listen to my breath. I see the transmission of the breath, and from ADP to ATP, and I watch, observe the penetration of that breath, of that energy into every cell. And I get deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, and silence becomes possible, and I empty my mind. Okay, thank you. Anybody else?
Can you see me?
Yes, I can see you. Yes, sir.
Could I mention something?
Yes, please do.
I'm not arguing the point at all. I really
Okay.
am not, because I agree with you. But when we talk about memories, there are different attitudes toward memories.
Yes, sir.
I happen
Yes,
to
ma'am.
be somebody that has heard for 25 years I should write a book.
Yes.
And I think I would like to write that book. And the title of that book would be Scared But Not Chicken.
Mhm.
You understand that meaning?
Yes. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Not chicken.
Yeah.
And I've spent much of my life overcoming fear without even realizing it.
Mhm.
I mean, it's not like I don't know I'm fearful, but it's like I don't tend to be gripped with fear.
Yes, ma'am.
And some of it, quite a lot of it actually, is a question of survival.
Yes, ma'am.
So what I think is funny is people's reactions to these kinds of things. You know, when I hear people what they say, and it's pretty funny.
Yes, ma'am.
When I was in a war zone, I
Mhm.
went through a 17-hour artillery siege
Mhm.
coming at us every 5 to 8 minutes for 17 hours. And that was my first experience with facing my mortality.
Mm.
And what I realized was I can't speak for other people, only myself.
Yes.
I realized it was totally out of my hands. It wasn't something I could fight. And I concluded my thought would be, yeah, it would be whatever God wanted. Have it. It's like I gave it up. And I know you know what I mean.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
So thy will be done is what I kept saying. Thy will be done, thy will be done. And we finally survived the 17 hours. And I'm glad I didn't know what that 17 hours could do because some of it hit my apartment and incinerated it. And the military told me if I had been in it, the term they used was I would have been vaporized, not cremated, vaporized. So I carried all that experience out with me. And of course, I was never more glad to see a helicopter come in to evacuate. But while we're waiting for the helicopter, what I will always remember with pleasure is that there was one embassy person that said, remind me not to be on the same helicopter with that woman because I had had so many near misses. Another one piped up and said, on the contrary, I want to be on that helicopter because I had missed everything. So that's the difference in attitude. The difference in perception.
Yes, ma'am. That's precisely. We are the same, actually. You know, I almost died so many times, and I was very thankful I have been through that situation to make me stronger, make me see. Because when each situation what I was in, I was dying. I said, well, let it go. Whatever universe take me, take me. Because I'm at this point, I cannot do anything.
That's right.
You know, that's the first thing coming to my mind when I was in coma for, like 2 weeks. At the beginning, I was aware. Later, I was not aware anything at all anymore. But I just let it go. I just just because you cannot do anything. You are paralyzed. You cannot do anything. You see the lights, you see all kinds of things, and you don't see the lights. You see all the, just you gone. You extinguished. And then you wake up again. So, but the moment you wake up, you're very thankful. It's a perception. That's exactly what I see. What do you perceive? And your future is going to be. So I perceived a way it was a luckiness. I had this thing, just like the dog pee on in one of my friend's shoe, and then she's very thankful because thank you for pee on me because I'm the luckiest woman today. You know, someone's dog pee on my shoe. So, and then it is your perception makes the difference. Thank you. Yeah, that's why if you grudge on it, and you become victimized, you always find something that is gloomy, something terrible always happen to you. But if you see something, it can transform you, and you're the luckiest person on the planet. I was in a car accident, you know, more than 15 times. And I was almost burned. People say, anybody survived? And I was out. I was happy. And, you know, I was very, very happy. So I got a shot. So what? You know, even I was, you know, in infection for so many days, so many weeks, months. You know, I almost died of that infection. That's okay. I'm still alive. So I'm happy. So I'm the luckiest person on the planet. That's what I see. And then I may not be a lot of people luckiest on the planet probably, but they don't see that way. That's the problem. It is the perception make who you are, and you're stronger or you're weaker. You can victimize yourself, and you can uplift yourself. Thank you for giving that story.
I call myself a walking miracle.
Beautiful, see?
So, that's memories. What do you think about me writing a book?
Yes, write a book. Because you're coming from the totally different perspective. So a lot of people ask me to write books because my experience, you know, my dying experience, a lot of people's experience. Yeah. Today I talk like a joke, but at that moment, you don't think it was a joke. You know, you were dying. You know, that was, at that moment, it was devastating. It's true. But when you get out, it's different. And you look back and you transcend from that. Write a book.
Realize that the pandemic has brought about a tremendous trend toward storybooks?
I can see that.
Coming out for some reason. I don't know what kind of storybooks. I just know storybooks.
You know, with pandemic for people, a lot of people can get into deeper thinking. A lot of people can reflect to the past. A lot of things, you know, still happening. But a pandemic to me is one of the best time happened to us as a human being. Why? Because give us a wake up call, and we need to stop destroying the planet, destroying nature, destroying ourselves. Second thing, and also give us time to be silent, to look inwardly, to observe ourselves, to re-look as a human being, as a humanity. Thank you. I'm glad you are here. It's wonderful. So yeah, you must be friend with our beloved Dr. Shu, right? So yeah, Dr. Shu is my beloved friend too. Yeah.
I've been a friend of Dr. Shu probably for 25 years.
25 years, wonderful.
Very
so
much.
It's my partner is with Dr. Shu for a while.
Acupuncture. Somebody like me needs acupuncture.
Yeah, but well, at least one acupuncture is better than, you know, I'm not going to say anything. So I shut my mouth. So what I do is acupuncture stimulate your mind, stimulate your energy system, and give you some balance. That's all.
And that's what I need most.
Yes.
Balance is important.
Yes. Jennifer, want to say something?
Okay.
As our beloved Jennifer. Come on, Jennifer.
Well, I've just been listening. You know, I think I did a big kind of house cleaning today. So I thought it was interesting that cleansing was the topic for today.
Yeah, I think it's important to both physically clean the environment, but also, as you mentioned, let go of events or view events from the past and different perspective. Let go of events that maybe seem toxic or view them from a different angle. So I think it's very helpful to think about reframing and understanding the past in a different way. And it was also very interesting to hear Shifu and then from some of our guests, the experiences that you had in your past as well, and just how much trauma people have gone through, but how resilient people truly are.
Yes.
So thank you.
So, thank you. Precisely. Sometimes we always remember to clean the house, right? How many people clean the house every week? Raise your hands. Okay, every week. How many of you clean your inner house every week? That's the thing. Your toxins,
Oh,
your old cells,
Yeah.
each minute you have millions of cells die,
Yeah.
and millions of cells give birth, and you have trillions of cells die, and in a couple of years, and do you clean every minute? 2 million cells die. 2 million cells die each minute. Do you clean every day? Billions of cells die. Thousands of billions of cells die. Do you clean them? Every few billion cells die. Do you clean them? Tell me, how many people clean that?
I used to, and I don't yet.
So we need to see. And how many people clean the clustered mind? The emotional mind, the thoughts, the memories, the old memories, they're already dead. They already give you so many trouble, and relook at those things as stories instead of living in the past. So that's what I see. And let it go.
Yeah.
And don't hold that big bag. Hold on. The garbage, more garbage, more garbage. Oh my goodness, you're almost dead, but still hold more garbage. There's like a whole house of garbage in your body. Of course, you're gonna have problems.
Yeah.
Let it go. That's the first cleansing. Joyce, go ahead. Thank you. Robert, Joyce, who want to go first?
Who's Joyce? Wait a minute.
Joyce over here, Joyce Beasley. All right, Robert.
So, which one is there? One that's you should do first or second? Should you focus on the breathing or focus on the counting?
Okay, you start with breathing. You count the breath. Okay, we're gonna do it again. Okay, I'm gonna give you a little bit of brief. So first, you put your hands. Of course, there's a magnetic field over here. This is part of the Qigong practices. Now, so you see that air comes into your nose. You feel that breath come to your chest, to your lungs, to penetrate into your diaphragm and push down. And then you give full penetration. 3/6, you may not penetrate as much, but it's much longer than 99% of the people who normally breathe. Is that correct? This is the shortest breath we do. Still longer than most of you guys breathe. That's reality. So when you do that, you begin to slowly come down. Why? Because when you breathe in 3, you breathe out 6, and you automatically, you calm down your biology, your psychological, transmission, your activities, and your neurotransmission will be different. Your connection will be different. And then you have less chaos, less entropy. So more orderly. When you have that communication, you become a little bit more peaceful. And you, at the same time, when you count the numbers, your mind won't be going away. Why? Because you count numbers, you feel you count. You feel you count. You feel you count the numbers. But you are into that total different realm of the counting, of the feeling, of the transmission. each, just like you're totally into totally different realm of that breathing world. So your tongue stick to the hard palate, and you begin to generate salivary, salivary. The salivary, sort of like a healing agent, really help you. Yeah, really help you. That's when your immune system, that means you know that your immune system begin to produce endorphins, produce dopamine. Those are natural production. It's a beautiful natural production. Instead of use drugs, pain pills, use all kinds of other legal or illegal drugs, it doesn't matter. You are naturally produce the medicine yourself. That's beautiful. You are healing. You are healing. You are cleansing already. That's a simple thing we start. Good. Joyce?
Yes, I had to
Okay.
find the unmute button.
Okay, good.
Greetings, everyone.
Okay, good. Okay, let's go, Joyce.
Yeah, so since I was going to the Shaolin Institute and
Yes.
doing my breath work, which I had a problem with not doing before I started. And so after I started doing that, I was going through some things in my life, like my mother died in 2020, and then my father that raised me died in 2021. And then this past February, my biological father died. So I had to think about the situation with all of them dying like back to back like that. And I had a thought, you have your thought like, wow, everybody's gone. And it's just like you. But I had to look at the good part about it because I got to speak to each one of them before they passed away. So I had to look at it that way. So I was going through my other stuff, like being homeless and sleeping in my car. And then I was learning that instead of you thinking about you're sleeping in your car and I'm tired of sleeping in my car and blah, blah, blah. So then I had to think of the positive side. At least you're in your car because you could be out in the elements. So in doing that, I had to step back a minute from the Institute and really focus on all the positive things that I had going on in my life at that time. And with that happening, I rented me out a place today.
Wow.
So making moves.
Yes, we all have experienced all kinds of things. It's not we see, okay, this is lucky, this is not lucky, there's no such thing. And what I see, that's life. At any moment, that's life. So watch the life without giving judgments. I was on the street, I was on the ditch, I have eaten markets, I have eaten, the things is running out of the bathrooms. Yes, I did all kinds of things, but that's just experience. Yes, that's those days you didn't have a choice, and that's the only choice you had. So there's no regret, there's no good or bad. It happened. But happened, so the series of things happening, and then that's life. That's who I am today. And do I remember these things? Of course I remember those. But do I live with this? No. So each person must live on the moment, transcend from whatever you are. In a car, on the bus, in the field, on the roof, under the roof, or on side of the roof, doesn't matter. Each person must see that moment. And yes, a lot of people thought of the past, but if we let the past go, just to see at this moment, and to see deepest in our mind, deepest in our body, what we are. We are all human beings. These material things, you live in the house, not in the house, it doesn't matter. And that moment of life is vital. And then from that, if you see that moment in a perceive as universal, in a universal emptiness, in a universal wisdom, in a universal intelligence, and pure off all that housing, pure off all that car, pure off of that, because mom, dad always die. No mom, dad is going to stay all their lives. Nobody. Everybody dies. You die, I die, and everybody dies. But that body die, and then doesn't mean that life is dying, because life to me, there's no beginning, there's no ending to me. That's just the way I see. Because if that cosmos has a big bang, if the cosmos has another big bang, if the cosmos has one black hole, another black hole, if the cosmos from the nothingness to something, and then back to nothingness, that's like Dao said, nothing to something, something to nothing. From formless to forms, from forms to formless. Life is that continuous without a beginning, without an ending. Okay, they transform different shapes, different situations, different images. You can give all kinds of labels, but life continues. That's what I see. And sometimes we may need to see beyond that material, because we are diving into the material world so deep into the material world. We must have this, and we must have this, and we must have this, we must have this. When I was penniless, sleep in the field, if people allow me to sleep in the field without bothering me, I thought it was a beautiful day. When I slept under the ditch without kicked out by people, I feel that was a good day. When I went in some empty building before they built it into a house, built a big building, and people didn't kick me out of that building, I was very, very lucky. So different state of the time, you see differently, you know? And yes, I was a millionaire before, and I gave millionaires $1 million out before, and then I owe $1 million before, and you know, today I owe a lot of money from the government, but I borrowed the money, and then a lot of people owe me money, so it doesn't matter. Those things just material. They have nothing to do with me.
Yep.
I always see I have all the money I want to have. Why? Because I am the cosmos. I am the humanity. So I see things differently.
I do too.
I always have luckiness because I'm the luckiest person on the planet. That's what I see. So I always have the luck. So when I see the poorest time and suddenly somebody want to do a private lesson, I'll say, I want to pay you $500 an hour for next 30 hours. Okay, see? And then I was, you know, in a certain state, and the government say, okay, I can only loan you $300,000. I say, okay, that's a little bit more than I need. So, and then, so, you know, I always have something. You know, when I owe $1 million, and then Schwab, the director of the Schwab in New Orleans told me, if I want to pay that $1 million back, it's sort of like his leg. He pulled out his leg is a prostate leg. It was not a modern prostate leg. It's the old prostate leg. It's the iron leg. It's a metal leg. It's like my leg, as real as you want to be. Because it doesn't happen. You want the leg back? It doesn't happen. Your money want to get back? It never happened, because $1 million for a teacher taught at, you know, like adjunct teacher taught at college, make that little tiny money. You want to pay $1 million in 1997, 1998, 1999. It's not next to impossible. It's zero possibility. That's all he said. Negative possibility, according to finance. But I paid that $1 million within the next few years, period. All the money flew in. I just don't know why. I have no idea why they flew in. Because I see everything is open. I don't believe what he said because I'm in Zen. Zen is infinity. It's I open up the universe, I give that to the universe, everything happen. That's all. That's all I see. I trust everything going to happen. So just like what Dorothy said, just like what I did. I said, I let it go. I let it fly. I just, gone is gone, gone with the wind, gone with the color, gone with that whatever that kind of, that kind of energy, even images or without images, slowly let it go. And eventually I got it back. I didn't know why, but that's how I got it back. I got it back not once, not twice, a couple of times. People say the cats have 9 lives. I have more than 15 lives. So, okay, thank you. Next. Okay, otherwise, let's do another breath. Okay, now, so first one, put your tongue up to the hot palate. Now, next is put your thumb together, put it under the abdomen. Next is breathe with your nose, breathe out with your nose. When you breathe in, you totally pay attention to that breath. All the way come to your chest, your lungs, your diaphragm, all the way penetrate down. That instant moment, just feel that moment, nothing else. And when you breathe out, you breathe out. Let it out, 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 let it out. And then you breathe in again. When you let it out, just breathe through your nose. That's all. Through your nose, just let it out. And your stomach become a little bit more flat. When you breathe in, your abdomen become more full. That's all. Okay, we're going to do the shortest breath one more time. In the future, we're going to do more. Okay, thumb together. Take a deeper breath. Lightly close your eyes. Breathe in. Out. In. Out. In. Out. In. Out. In. Out. In. Out. In. In. Out. Hold it. Breathe in. Out. Breathe in deeply. Out. Now raise hands up. Breathe in. Breathe in. Breathe out. One more time. Reach hand all the way to the sky. Out. In. Out. Good. Okay, now I want to see when we breathe in and we feel that energy transmission to the body, to all the cells, and penetrate into all the pockets of the lungs. And then you feel that relaxation. Actually, your body begin to really open up, open up, open up. You begin to feel that because you are into that realm of that just the body realm, okay? Just the internal body realm. Feel every part of it. That's the beginning. Just feel it. See how everything without any judgments, without any analysis, just observe, pure observation. And then you will see a little bit differently. Next time when we do something and we get a little bit more little bit deeper into like 4-8 or 6-12, and we get a little bit more deeper into that breathing. And I want to see how everything manifests. Okay, and that's all we have today. And thank you for everybody to be here. And then Barbara and Dr. Sue, Dorothy, Joyce, and Jennifer, and my beloved Robert. Robert, Robert was with me for many years. He was a fighter. Now he's now he's a PhD now. So so we have a lot of students have been with me for a long time. He's one of them, and he lived with me, right, Robert? He went to China with me. Yes, he went to Brazil with me. There's a lot of places. We had a long way to go back. Now he lives in Boston. Great. Thank you and take care. Have a beautiful night. And some people have a beautiful day. Shafi and Dr. Guo. All right. Thank you. Take care.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.